What is good, you guys? It's Lifestyle from LifeStyleDidIt.com, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you tips and tricks on how to make your beats more interesting arrangement wise, how to do certain things with filtering, automation, chord inversions, all types of things. Let's get into it. Alright, so this is the original intro. Just let this play out real quick. Alright, now we're going to open up a parametric EQ. And we're going to take a high shelf, pull it down, and then we're going to pull it all the way over here to a low amount of hertz around the 200 to 400 range, and then create an automation clip right over here. Okay, so now we're going to drag this down, and now we can automate the frequency at which this high shelf is going to be focusing on. So right here you're going to see that I'm starting low and I'm going to bring the shelf up, and you'll see what I mean when I press play. So now that shelf is starting to move. So what that's going to do is introduce high end as it goes, but it's going to automate it gradually. So it kind of starts off low pass and then just fades in like this. So now we're going to create another automation clip, and we're going to just have the EQ turn off just in case for some reason later on in the song. So what I like to do is cut it and then bring it over here, make unique, and then turn this down. And now we turn the EQ to turn off, as you can see right there. So the next thing we're going to do is put a flangus on it. Flangus, however you want to call it. Find a cool preset that we like, and then we're going to create an automation clip with this as well. And now with this automation clip, we're going to tell it to affect the dry and wet knob. So we're going to cut again. And then over here, we're going to have it go down so that it starts off at 100% and then goes down to dry so it fades out. And now we get this effect on the intro. And we gave it a great fade into the beat. So that's one thing I like to do to my intros, especially for beats like this. Now next, we're going to talk about chord inversions. What this means is that we're going to take a note, maybe A5, and we're going to bring it up to A6 or bring it down. So we're just bringing random notes down a whole octave, and you do this by pressing Control and the down arrow. So we're going to invert these chords so it's the same chord but using different notes. So I like how that sounds, so I inverted it by just changing a few of the chords, a few of the notes to make them higher or lower. Now we're going to add a seventh to some of these, which they already are, but let's just act like those first three notes are the first chord, if we're not talking about bass notes. So we're kind of going in here and adding a seventh to the chord, and that gives it a nice vibe. Now the next thing we're going to do is duplicate what we have already, but we're going to use a different instrument. So when we go from the hook to the verse, it'll change an instrument. It's going to be a similar instrument and it's going to fit the beat, but it's not going to be the same exact preset. So what I'm doing is duplicating it so that I could delete our first one, and on the verse I can have it be the duplicate. So right here you'll see I'm going to paste the chords in there, but it's on a different instance of Omnisphere. So it's exactly the same, and now we're just going to change the preset like I just showed. You could pause the video to see which one I used if you want. And you're going to hear that's a bit different. And that's going to switch, watch. So it's similar, but it's different, especially right here. It's calmer so that the verse can breathe. So I just changed the instrument, same chords. Now the next thing we're going to do is add some reverb to the snare, but just on the verse. So we're going to go over here, get a reverb, adjust some of the settings, kind of make it a darker reverb. And then we're going to have it so that the verse comes in and the snare has a reverb on it, but the hook doesn't. So we're going to create an automation clip. We're going to cut it, duplicate it like I showed before so we can have an on and off switch basically, make it real easy. Turn it on for the beginning of the verse, turn it off for the hook. So as you can see, now I have the on button, make unique, and I'm going to make an off button. And then you could take those and put them wherever you want. Now the reverb will turn on and off for the snare. Just a few more settings. and you'll see it's going to turn off. Now the next thing we're going to do is use izotope, and this is going to be vinyl, and we can warp the sound with this. It's a free plugin. So this is really cool for lo-fi beats, but I like to do this on some beats too. So just on the verse, we're going to have it be warped. So it's going to have that warp sound to it. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to create an on and off button, like I like to call it, and just have it come on for the verse so it's warped, and it's just going to warp the chords. So the last thing we're going to do is some simple drum moves. So let's bring this hi-hat here, have it start late, and then we're going to go over here on this hi-hat, and we're going to add a little triplet on the snare. So when the snare hits, it has a triplet vibe to it. And this is just a few things you could do around the beat. Alright, so those were a few tips I gave you guys. If you guys did like this video, leave a thumbs up. You can follow me on all social medias at LifeStyleDidIt. Today's Instagram shout out is Riz Adam. If you want to be shouted out, just go ahead on my Instagram at LifeStyleDidIt. Drop comments on my new pictures. I'll randomly go through them, my new picture or video. Choose one person to shout out in the video, and that's how you enter. Make sure to hit my website, LifeStyleDidIt.com, for everything else. Other than that, subscribe to your boy. Thanks.